Hello everyone, Dr. 213 here, and welcome to Factorio Sea Block. Today we're going to be starting a new series here, and we'll get a few episodes out of it, hopefully anyway. I've lucked out quite nicely here with this spawning sea. This was the first one I tried, and it spawned us right next to an island here. Now, in case you can't notice yet, land is a bit of a commodity in this pack. We start off on this tiny little one block of soil here, sand, and that's all you get. Now there are other islands, and these do spawn randomly, and luckily we've spawned right next to this one, so we'll be able to make use of that and gain a bit more land for free. What we should start off with is getting us some space going. So to do that, we'll just do this, and boom. In fact, let's go a little bit more, like so. And that's perfect. Now, if you guys want to play this pack, all you need to do is go on the Factorio mods, and then under mod packs, under the category, you just select the Sea Block pack. Now, I have got a few extra mods. I've got, let's see, FNEI. I've got Helmod, which will help us calculate ratios later on. I've got Far Reach, because I hate having to walk up and down everything. And I've got Squeak Through as well, just so that we can squeeze through small gaps. Although it doesn't seem to be working there. But we should have that installed. I've also got construction robots. Construction drones, because I'm very indecisive at times and I like to move things around, and that would just make the whole process a lot easier and less boring for you guys. So why don't we get started here. The first thing we need to do now is get ourselves a pump. Yep. A electrolyzer. A liquefier, and a crystallizer. Maybe. There we are. So I've played a little bit of Sea Block before. I've not really gotten too far into it, so I figured this would be a good way of actually getting somewhere with it for once. So what we're going to do is we're going to place down our pump up in this corner here. Then we get our electrolyzer. We're just going to place it there for now. In fact, I lied. We are going to place it just one block forward so that we can get a pipe in there so that we can use the pump for additional electrolyzers and whatnot. We're going to take our liquefier as well. We're just going to place it up here for now, I guess. Yeah, that's good. In fact, we'll probably need to move that slightly because the crystallizer is a bit bigger. There we are. So that's going to go like that, which is perfect. And then we're going to take our liquefier and put him there. In fact, I'm going to move this guy one more time. In fact, I'm going to move all of this. Here's where that indecisiveness comes into play. I'm going to do that so that what we can do is we can get that pipe connection there, and then with our water pump we can put that right there, which will save us a bunch of pipe, and it's all nice and compact because space is a commodity. We might look like we've got a fair amount right now, we've got some sand and whatnot, but trust me, it's going to become a big problem very soon. Anyway, so that's that. Now the next thing we need is power as well. So we're going to get some more sand, and I think I'm going to put my power off to this side. I'm just going to give us a nice area to work with. Now we'll start off with a bunch of wind turbines. Now wind turbines are great because it's free power, no fuel required. But the problem is they're crap. They don't give us a lot. They give us enough to get started, though. That is the key. That is a horrible noise. Get that going. Right, we should just connect these up here, and hopefully that sound stops. Oh, Yeah, that's loud. Let's turn that down a bit. Sounds, master. Let's go down to like 50%. That's probably good. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. We'll see. I'll adjust it though, if needed. Cool, and that's everything powered. So we start this process. We're also going to actually need to get a few flare stacks. Now flare stacks will allow us to burn off the additional gas that's produced by the electrolyzer. That is still rather loud, so I'm going to turn it down even more. That's better. Yep, that's definitely much better. So this electrolyzer is going to allow us to get slag, which we can then use in a crusher, and then that crusher, which we've got here, will allow us to make crushed stone. And the crushed stone is going to go into the liquefier, which is going to make nice mineralized water. And that mineralized water will be crystallized in the crystallizer into steatite and sapphirite. And that is how we get our ores. I'm going to remove this rock because it's right in the way. But as you can see right now, we're backed up. So for the flare stacks, we just go like this. And that will burn up any additional gases that we don't need. And let us produce even more slag. Now we're going to have to just manually move these. But that's fine for now because we can't do much else. Right, we're just going to expand a little bit more. Like that. There we go. Let's see, we've got 48, so that's 8, 16, 20. So we're going to get 2 more rows of these wind turbines in. And I think if I go down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 4, 5, 6. That should be all we need. Now, some people may consider this cheating, but this is the sort of stuff that I don't really find too fun to do, and I'm sure you guys wouldn't want to watch me place wind turbines down for the next 5 minutes. And as we can see there, we're done. Perfect. Now these drones are a little bit derpy. Their pathfinding doesn't exactly love Squeak Through, but it's alright. They work. Now we've got a nice 1.7 megawatts of power right now, but this will drop and increase as the wind speeds change. So we're not gonna have to worry. Well, we are gonna have to worry about that. But for now, we're just getting ourselves some basic ores. As you can see, now we've got mineralized water or ores, and sapphirite and steatite, which is going to allow us to get copper and iron. But for that, we're going to need a few more brushes. Now, I've made a bit of a mistake here, because what I should really be doing is, when I'm not doing anything, is crafting wood pellets, because wood pellets are fuel. And fuel is essential. See, I've got wood right there, but depending on where you start, you may not get trees, so you may not have wood for fuel. But these wood pellets, you scrounge around for little fibers and stuff, and you get this cellulose fiber, which is just plant matter basically, which makes wood pellets. And wood pellets give you a decent amount of fuel, 8 megajoules of fuel value there, which is, I think it's similar to coal, possibly, I can't remember. Don't think, let's see, coal. Coal has a fuel value of 4 megajoules, so it's double coal essentially, but we can't get coal, and it also takes forever to do, which is fine because we've not got a lot else to do right now. So we're just gonna place these down here, and we'll keep going. Just gonna sit here, keep transferring some materials around, and getting ourselves resources. Now you might be wondering is, how do we progress in this pack? Well, the tech tree has been overhauled, so you don't just use science packs to start off with. So here we can see this first research that we've got in the queue is crushed stereotype, and that is going to require crushed stereotype, which basically just means make a crushed stereotype and you're good. So here we can see, if we were to, let's just set these up, and we put this stereotype ore in here, we're going to need one more. But what we should find is once we crushed one of these, I'm just going to chop a few more of these while we wait. There we go, stereotype ore, boom, technology finished. All because I picked that up, which is perfect. Now the next research is basic circuit board, which requires a basic circuit board for us to complete, and that will unlock inserters and a whole bunch of other stuff that will really kickstart our expansion here. But we've got some. Well, obviously they don't count, because what it really means is craft one, which is fine. All we need is wooden boards, which we get from paper from cellulose pulp, which requires alginic acid, which requires brown algae. Now, brown algae we make in a algae farm, so we'll get one of those going. We're only going to need this brown algae temporarily though, and I'll show you guys what I mean by that later on. Right, let's just stop a few of these for now, and then I'll get a few more going. Now we are going to need probably another pump actually, because I don't want to use the same pump, because it's going to be a pain piping it. Now this might be a bit of a waste. That one pump is definitely more than capable of doing probably everything you need in the early game, but running the pipes and whatnot, not so much. Anyway, now we should have our algae farm, which we'll just plonk down just down here for now. Now, to make brown algae we need saline water. Now saline water we can't just get out of the water. What we need to do is get ourselves a hydro plant and a clarifier. Now the hydro plant, what that's going to do is, if we have a look around here, we can turn regular water into saline water and purified water. Now we only need one of those. I hope that's the right one. Yeah. Can't mix fluids. No. Huh. Alright, we're going to move this, because I believe it actually comes out the other side. So if I take this algae farm and we'll put it in that corner. So we take this, and can we squeeze it in? No, of course we can't. That's fine. We've got sand for now. So we're just going to expand a little bit more here. Put this down. Get our hydro plant in. Like so. There we go. So that's going to pump the saline water directly into the algae farm, as we can see there. And then it's got this other product as well, which was the purified water. Now, we can't do much with the purified water. Much like the hydrogen and oxygen up here, we need to get rid of it for now. It's just going to back up. And that is done just by putting a water clarifier, or just clarifier, sorry. And that'll just void any excess liquids. Right, why don't we take our pump, we're going to put that there, and we're going to run that like so. Give it a bit of power, that, and we should see, hopefully, well, if we piped in everything, obviously, that's the issue we were having. There we go. We should see, yeah, that's starting to run. So we are now producing algae, which is perfect, because that will allow us to get our next research done. Now obviously this is all very cramped and we can barely move, but that's just part of the challenge, really. Well, we've run a bit short there. That's fine, because what we can actually do as well is take this slag and crush it. And then with the crushed stone, we can go in here and we can craft up more sand. Obviously this is going to take forever to get anywhere, but that's fine. We don't need to expand too much for now. And our stone is actually more valuable being made into ores right now. Oh, I've also got even distribution. Now what this will allow us to do is, amongst other things, we can, if I take this out, we can, we can take our fuel here. If I hold control, we can drag it across the three things, helps if I can count. We can drag it across the various storage containers and furnaces and whatnot, and we can evenly spread out whatever we're trying to deposit, which is very handy. It also allows us to go Shift C, and what that will do is it will take any resources that you've got that you might not necessarily need on you, and it will automatically put them in any container that's around you that will accept it. So if I take these out and I do that, you can see that the ore automatically goes into those. That just helps speed up the early game process a little bit more, and gets us just jump started. Right, we've got ores now, but what we really need is we need to smelt them. So let's make a couple furnaces, and we're going to put those just there for now. And we need more pellets. See, this is the problem. I'm not crafting. Craft. What I'll do though is I'll just steal one from here for now, and one from here, and then we can throw in our crushed diorite and our crushed sapphirite. But so here's the benefit now of the even distribution mod, is we can just go around and click, click, and click. No? Maybe not. But it is just really a case of clicking, 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 and then deposit everything all at once, which just makes things go 10 times faster than having to individually go into every single machine. Right, we've got our brown algae now, which is perfect, so we should just be able to go cellulose pulp. Stop that for a minute. And what that's going to do is it's going to make us our algenic acid that we need. We need a fair few by the looks of it. And once we've got that, we can get a bit more cellulose fibre, and we can make our cellulose pulp. And then we can have all the paper and wooden boards that we desire. Now I'm going to shut this off now because we don't really need it. We've got enough for what we need, and it's just using up space. Oh yeah, there's another thing here, is when you fill around a pump, it removes the water, but it still pumps, which is quite handy if you want to make things a little bit more stacked together, because you don't need your pumps right on the edge, but it is a little bit cheaty. But click, click, click. Skip C. Boom. Perfect. Now the crushers also give us a little bit more crush stone back, which is great, because that can then be fed back into the crystallizer and get us a little bit more resources. Obviously not much, but every little helps. Okay, now that we've made our cellulose pulp, we should just be able to go over here, and we've got our copper as well, which we needed. We didn't have any of that, and we can make some basic circuits. Boom, and that's that research done. Next up we need wood processing, which means we need green algae. Now, we didn't have access to green algae originally, but since we've just done the basic circuit board research, we now have it. It helps if I accept that research. There we go. Now, green algae is great because that is going to let us get a lot more cellulose without having to manually click every single time. Now, green algae also actually produces a small amount of brown algae, which is why we didn't need the brown one anymore. Now, brown algae we don't need too much of. As you can see, we don't get much of it, but it's going to build up in the early game, which is fine. We can always use it later on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this algae farm. We're going to just stick it down in this corner for now. All of this will be subject to change. I like to change things around a lot until I'm happy with how it is. And we'll take our pump. In fact, we need to move it forward just a little bit so that we can squeeze this pump in. Like so. And that's got that. And we're just going to set you to do that. And you need power. Now the reason I put it so far away is, it might seem a bit redundant right now, but once we do this, we can start getting our sacrificial electromagnet, which is the first tier of research. And once we've got that, we can start doing things like automation, which will let us get assemblers, and then we can start really automating stuff. Now we've also got access to inserters, so we're going to make a few of those. I do want to stop just a little bit of that while I do this. Now these are great because we can then go over here. Now what's nice is you can do angled inserters, so that's going to take directly from that, and then we can take another inserter and do that. Now it's not the fastest process in the world. I will help it just by doing that. It's going to back up. That's fine. Just help it along a little bit here whilst we wait. And we have a little bit more automation going, which is perfect. Now, we won't be able to fully automate going from crusher to furnace yet, because we've got the stone that we need to deal with. And that's going to be a little bit tricky with our limited capabilities right now. But we've got green algae now. That's that done. So that unlocks our Electromagnetism Lab, our cellulose fibre, electric poles, wood bricks, lab construction cores, and lab mechanization. Now, the next research, I do believe, requires the Electromagnetism Lab, which it does, which makes sense, because we're going to be using that to do our future research. But, and we can craft that straight away, which is perfect. So we'll get one of those done. As we can see here, we're now actually just going around, constantly feeding our crystallizer here, which is giving us ores, which we can then turn into ingredients ourselves. But we could probably squeeze a couple more inserters in here, and that will hopefully do a bit more automation for us. Now the first research we're going to want to do is automation, because doing stuff by hand is just a pain, and Factorio wouldn't be very Factorio-like without the automation. But for that we're going to need copper. Now we've got a little bit here, which isn't quite enough to get ourselves sacrificial electromagnets, because they require 4 copper each. That is not quite right, apparently. Oh, no, it is. We get 8 electromagnets per craft, and this needs 2, but we don't have enough to do the 1 recipe. Makes sense. Okay. That confused me for a second. But what we should find is we'll get a little bit more in a moment. Hopefully. Yeah, it's a very slow process to start with. Right, we're going to shut that off for now. But all we can do is turn our actually, I should probably keep that going, because we can create cellulose fibre much quicker that way. Can we? No, we can't. It's not actually quicker, but it can be when we're automating it, because we don't have to constantly do it ourselves. So I will put that back. And boom, we're back up. Bit of a brain fart there. That always wants to be running, really. We're going to craft more of this. We probably just want wood pellets, to be honest. Wood bricks aren't needed right now. Right, that should be the last piece of copper we need. And that will get us all of the research. So, sorry, not all the research. All of the resources for the research. And there we go. We are going to need a bit more because we actually need 5. That's fine, we can sort that out. And whilst we wait for all this stuff, if you guys are enjoying the episode so far, please do subscribe and leave a like, as it greatly helps. And you'll be notified when I upload more if you hit the bell icon. Also, feel free to leave a comment if you have any suggestions, any tips. I'm always open to help, because I'm not great at these sort of games. I very quickly get lost in the pathways. But it's always fun. I do plot along, getting things done. Let's actually stop these for now. That's taking way too long. Right, anyway, we put our lab down, like so. And we should then be able to start researching. And there we go. Power is doing just fine still, which is great. I think a great goal, just before we end the episode, is to get this automation research finished. So we just need a little bit more copper, and we can craft all the things we need. And that will be everything. Just craft 1 more of those. So I might as well do 4 of those because we can. And if we go like this, perfect. And that should be that research done. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So we've unlocked a whole bunch more now, as well, with the science unlock, which is going to be very important. Things like mechanical refining, so we don't need fuel. Let's see, turrets and military probably aren't needed for now. Metallurgy, that's going to be important. Logistics for splitters and underground belts. There's a whole lot we've just unlocked, really. But I think we're going to wrap it up for now. What I'll do between this episode and next episode is I'll just tidy things up a bit. I'll get a few resources going so we don't have to wait around too long. And I will also think of our next objective. I'm thinking possibly power. I don't know if we've quite gotten there with the resources yet, but we'll see. Thank you all guys for watching. As I do, leave a like and comment if you enjoyed. Subscribe to know when I upload more. And have a great day. Take care now. Bye.